Today, we are covering the 2018 PGA Championship from Bellerive Country Club in St. Louis, Missouri. We're also going to be covering the Urban Meyer scandal. Arlington Millions today from Chicago, Illinois. We're covering that as well. Stay tuned with us.
And now, from Louisville, Kentucky, the horse capital of the world and sports junkies' finest, giving you wagering advice and sports analysis. It's On the Switch with your host, Geno G.
Welcome back, everybody, to On the Switch show. As always, I'm your host, Geno G. Hey, Trav, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
So Travis and I are here today to talk to you about a few things. One being Urban Meyer. Two being the PGA Championship, which second round got suspended. Then also we wanted to touch base on the Arlington Million, horse racing. The few stake races, the big stake races at least, from Saratoga, Del Mar, and Arlington. As you listen, head over to our Twitter at OnTheSwitch1. Drop us a follow. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening. Leave us a 5-star rating. Leave a comment. Let us know your suggestions or questions, and we can have them presented on the show, and we can answer them for you. Now, back to what we were talking about. First, let's just touch on the PGA Championship. The second round was suspended due to lightning. Unfortunately, they thought they would be able to start that back up, but there was just no way. So in the middle, basically the middle of the second round, there's actually a lot of people still out there playing their second round. We have Gary Woodland, who's leading at -10. He shot a 4 under 66 in the second round. He is finished. Along with Kevin Kisner, who's -9. Brooks Koepka, the U.S. Open winner, is -8. He shot a major record tying 63. Along with Charles Schwartzel, he shot 63 as well. Dustin Johnson right there at -7 overall. He shot a -4, 66 today. When it came to our picks, we struggled a little bit. Not going to lie. Not going to lie.
We did.
Although.
It's okay, though.
Although. It's only the second round.
Right.
Jordan Spieth is finished. He's -3. So he's only 7 shots back. I know 7 shots back seems quite a bit, but, he's only 7 shots back. Now, with that being said, let's go to Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau, he's even par. He's struggling to make the cut, and to be honest with you, he just hasn't been the player that I thought he was going to be this week. He hasn't made that many birdies, hasn't really made that many bogeys, but he's just not really done anything at all. What's interesting about this championship so far is we got it right in the fact that there were going to be a lot of birdies made. But what's interesting is you have long hitters with short hitters as well that are up at the top of the leaderboard. You take Gary Woodland, one of the longest players on tour. Kevin Kisner, one of the shortest players on tour. So you have a short player who has a great putter, and you have Gary Woodland who's just overpowering the entire course, and he's making the few putts that he needs to. So it's an interesting leaderboard to say the least. It's top heavy. You still have guys like Ricky Fowler, Tiger Woods that are still out there on the course that need to finish their second round. Now, one of the most disappointing picks was Bubba Watson. Bubba Watson threw 9 holes. So his first 9 holes, he was -2. And I text everybody. I'm like, oh, man, here we go. Bubba Watson, he's just going to go off.
And he didn't.
Over the next 27 holes, he's +10.
Oh. So
he is a miscut. That hurts the DraftKings. That hurts my bank account. Bubba Watson will not make the cut this week. Really, really disappointing. And then our long shot, Aaron Wise. The reason why I liked Aaron Wise is all the things that I use in my metric that I put so much importance. Aaron Wise met all of that criteria. He popped up on everything. Well, it just hasn't panned out that way. So he's +3. He's finished. He won't make the cut as well. 2 players definitely not making the cut. Bryson DeChambeau still out there on the course currently as we're talking. He's out there on the course trying to make the cut. Jordan Spieth is finished his second round. He's -3 overall, so he's 7 shots back. But I really think that Jordan Spieth, the way that he rebounded today, he has a chance to move up the leaderboard. Can he make up 7 shots in 2 days with that leaderboard up top? I don't know. It's going to be a tall task. But if that putter goes, he can really, really get it rolling. So that's the PGA Championship. We'll keep in touch with that. I don't think Gary Woodland can hold on up top. I mean, there's just, like I said, way too much firepower with Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson. Ricky Fowler's out there. He's at -7. He's only 3 shots back. He's still out there playing his second round. So he can easily move up the leaderboard. You're talking about all this firepower behind Gary Woodland. He would have to continue the play of the first 2 rounds to really have any chance. And even then, those guys behind him have so much firepower they can still pass him. So it'll be an interesting weekend to say the least. They got delayed and then actually canceled in the middle of the day yesterday because of rain. So with rain, that means the course is going to be more wet. It's going to be easier to play. Although we'll play a little bit longer, it's going to be easier. You'll be able to hold greens. The greens aren't going to get burnt out like we actually expected them to be on Sunday. So I would expect a whole lot more birdies as we have had the first 2 days on the weekend as well. So should be an exciting final 2 days, especially with the fact that when there's so many birdies made, like it's just fun to watch. Like everybody's just going out there shooting a score. And when you play golf or when you watch golf, you want to see birdies and eagles and those kind of things. Those are fun rounds to watch. Although as a golfer, it's fun for me to watch like the US Open where everybody just struggles to make par on every hole. But something like this where it's just kind of a shootout. It's how low can you go? Those are also extremely fun to watch because you'll see guys shoot 63, 64, those kind of scores, and it's fun to watch. It's fun golf. So that's the PGA Championship. We'll obviously be keeping an eye on that. Our selections have not gone as well as I expected them to go, I guess. We do have a bunch of bets when it came to like DraftKings. Like we do have Gary Woodland. We liked Gary Woodland when we had our DraftKings show. We really liked Brooks Koepka. He, as we said on the show, that he was the most likely person to finish top 15. Here he is, top 4. Looks like he's definitely going to finish at least top 15. So there are some good, but mostly it's bad. Let's see if Jordan Spieth can't make a run, and it'll all be based on Saturday's round. If Saturday's round he shoots like 65 and he gets to like -8 or -9 overall, perhaps he has a shot if none of the leaders go really low. But we will watch that, pay attention to that. That is the PGA Championship. Breaking news.
Dun-dun-dun.
Urban Meyer. There is a chance, Trav. There is a chance that he actually has an out as far as clearing him from this entire spiel. In the state of Ohio, they have a law in place. In Ohio, if there is a domestic violence call, 911, and a police officer shows up at the house or location in which there is domestic violence, it is up to the officer to look both parties up and down and see if there's any visible injuries or what looks to be foul play. If perhaps there is, it's up to the officer to decide who is to get arrested. If there is visible evidence of physical abuse, somebody has to be arrested in the state of Ohio. Has to be arrested. There's no in between. There's no, do you want to file a charge? No. Someone has to be arrested.
They don't play.
No. It's no joke. So this is bizarre to me. Check this out. There have been over 60 phone calls to Coach Smith's house for domestic violence. 60. Over 60 911 calls of domestic violence at Coach Smith's house in Ohio. Not once has anybody been arrested. Not once. So check this out. This is how this all plays out. And I'm pulling this full circle here. Urban Meyer, when Brett McMurphy comes out with that story, he says, hey, this is all the information that I have. It looks like this. When Urban Meyer says you're a liar, he's basing, or from what I understand, he's basing like the fact that Brett McMurphy's a liar because if perhaps something was wrong or something was going on, Coach Smith would have been arrested.
Right.
So Urban Meyer says,
what are you talking about?
Ain't nothing going on.
Right.
There's nothing going on. Nobody's been arrested. Nothing has happened. So there's no story here. Nothing. You're a liar. So then when all the extra information comes out, now it poses the question of, is it fake? Was it hidden when the police officers came? Then you start this whole spiral effect where the police officers paid off. Do the police officers know who Coach Smith is? So they kind of give him a free pass. I think we can both verify that we've been in situations in which you probably should get in trouble.
Sure.
And you don't.
Sure.
Whether the police officer is just having a good day, whether he feels bad for you, whatever the case may be, does something like that happen? In the state of Ohio, it's a law, though. It's a law. Someone has to be arrested if perhaps there is visible evidence of foul play. So now, if Urban Meyer's sitting in a conference room with everybody, trustee, board of trustees and AD and whatnot, and they're posing all these questions to him, he said, look, in the state of Ohio, if there's an issue, he would have been arrested. So to me, how in the hell can I fire somebody when he hasn't broken any law? Anything that I know, like he hasn't done anything. Because if he did, he would have been arrested. Period. End of story. What's also interesting that I found out, that Urban Meyer was hired by somebody that's no longer there. And that somebody was not an athletic director. He was he was the head of the board of trustees. That's who appointed Urban Meyer. The reason why I bring this up, I don't know if everybody that's now in this circle, talking about the board of trustees, the AD, the president, I don't know if they knew how scummy Urban Meyer was, or if they did, they don't care, right? So now, if Urban Meyer presents this to him, it's like, shit, I mean, he's provided a lot for this university. He's provided us a lot of money. He's putting us back on the map. We've won a national championship. Can't get rid of him. And he has a clear out, if you want to say. Clear out. Urban Meyer, there's a chance. It's going to be hard for me to swallow the pill of, he's never going to get in trouble. But it's looking more and more likely now that this news has come out that Urban Meyer might just get a suspension, a couple of games. He's right back at it, right back in the fray. I would be mind blown if that happened. But it looks like, from what I see, from what I read, from what I understand, it looks like Urban Meyer legitimately has an out. And if perhaps Ohio State says, hey, man, you're out. See ya. Urban Meyer's going to go to them and say, I didn't do anything wrong. Name one thing that I did wrong. Nothing. Hey, you didn't do anything wrong. So they're going to owe him all of that money, and who knows if he's going to sue past that. Like, you never know. So it's this sticky situation. Obviously, there are probably things we don't know and we'll never know. But Urban Meyer, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but there's a chance that Urban Meyer does not get fired. And that's just mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. That's an update for Urban Meyer. I know that, I think it was the Board of Trustees or the AD or the president. They said, we're going to give it 14 days. And within 14 days, we'll have an answer as to what the next step is for Ohio State, whether it's keeping him, suspending him, letting him go, whatever the case may be. So we'll keep in touch over the next week or so and see if anything else develops. And Urban Meyer, bizarre. Is all I can't believe this entire thing. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
What about the Arlington Millions?
Okay, Arlington Millions. That is today from Arlington Park in Chicago, Illinois. I want to touch base before getting to the Arlington Millions about a couple of stake races at Del Mar, Saratoga, because Arlington Million will be by far the biggest race today. Del Mar. Here's what's crazy. At Del Mar, they have what's called the Best Pal Stakes, and it's for 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs. I don't know the specific date, but one night at Los Alamitos, they had a maiden special weight, and this horse named Instagram all of a sudden became Twitter galore. Everybody posting, reposting the stretch run of Instagram. The most amazing thing you've ever seen. Jerry Hollendorfer. I mean, unbelievable. And so I was like, wait, what? Huh? So you watch it. This horse goes to the lead at Los Alamitos, okay, going 5.5. And they turn for home, demolishes them, beats them by 11 lengths. And under wraps, Drayden Van Dyke. I mean, he's literally holding, can't do anything. Like, he has to let him go. So now he comes back, Best Pal Stakes. Everybody's been anticipating this next debut.
Instagram.
Grand. Yeah, Instagram. So, as we said, Jerry Hollendorfer also has a 2-year-old filly named Brill. So Jerry Hollendorfer could have a Derby runner and an Oaks runner, which Jerry Hollendorfer, he's successful, obviously. Most notable is Zenyatta. But again, he has some success with 2-year-olds, but it's not really. Most of his horses develop later on, and he has really, really successful horses later on in their career. But now he has 2 studs. Instagram today, if Instagram doesn't win today, maybe we, in Twitter space, could have made Instagram a whole lot bigger of a deal than what Instagram really is. But Instagram, obviously, in this particular race,
it's so confusing me right now. Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. So, okay. After this race, people were screenshotting or copying TVG's stretch run at Los Alamitos in Instagram's debut because people were like, holy shit. This horse, the real deal. Gotcha.
You just don't see a horse stomp off like that against that kind of field. And this horse was like 6-1 or something. You know, it wasn't like this is a horse that was like 2-5. This horse was obviously not a favorite and not a heavy favorite or anything like that. So it was unexpected. And when you get a performance like that, you're like, whoa.
Right.
So everyone on Twitter post, repost, whatever, everything Instagram, everything. So everybody's kind of been anticipating this next start for Instagram. What is Hollendorfer going to do? Are they going to stretch him out? Are they going to sprint again? Stakes, not stakes, non-winners, all these different options. Brings him back here. I like the fact that he keeps Drayden Van Dyke. To me, Drayden is one of the most talented jockeys in the world, but doesn't get the opportunities past debuts. For instance, he rode Brill as well. He probably will not, if Instagram wins tomorrow, he probably will not ride Instagram or Brill ever again. And it's unfortunate because they use him for these debuts because he's good enough, but then they feel like, for these big races, they need Mike Smith or they need whatever, Joel Rosario. They need Irad Ortiz. They need all these top guys because big race, like, can't have Drayden Van Dyke, So I like the fact that he jumps back on board Instagram. Obviously has the highest speed figure last out, that being the debut, 89. I can't imagine anybody going with Instagram early. There is speed everywhere in this race. And we'll get to my second choice, which is a horse that comes from way out of it, which I think has a shot to possibly beat Instagram if Instagram doesn't fire. But Instagram, it's all up to him. If Instagram runs anywhere near what he did in debut, he should win this easy. He's 1-2 on the morning line. He'll be 1-5 and should win easy, but you never know. My second choice, though, is Mason Dixon, the 4. For Doug O'Neill and Flavian Pratt in the irons. Has a win over this track already for it was in a $150,000 maiden claimer, which I didn't even know a race like that even existed. Like, it's so ridiculous. You see $40,000, $50,000, $75,000, but a $150,000 maiden claimer, never heard such a thing. Speed figure was fair. 81 is okay. It's not the 89 that Instagram was in wraps, so there's a big discrepancy there. And this one ran with the bias, that being everybody on this day was coming from behind to win. But there is so much speed in this race. If 4 horses go after the lead, I know it's only 6 furlongs, but this horse is going to be way back. If a horse like Instagram doesn't fire, this will be a horse that's going to pass them all as they come for home. That's the 4, Mason Dixon. Now, over at Saratoga, they have what's called the 4-Star Dave Stakes. It's a grade 1, $500,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, going 1 mile on the turf. And there's a horse in there that's going to hit the $2 million mark in career purse earnings, which is great. 2-1 on the morning line, the favorite. But I think this is actually a race for Voodoo Song, the 6. Now, Voodoo Song, Linda Rice, Jose Lescano in the irons. This is a horse that, although I know the 5, the one that's directly inside, has some speed and has shown some speed before, this one has more speed than any horse in this race. And I think could be lone speed in this short 5-horse field. Jose Lescano is aggressive. And as a matter of fact, for On the Switch, we always want to give analysis, right? Statistics, things, numbers. How about this? Jose Lescano with speed horses on the turf. He's had 13 mounts with speed horses. Horses that have shown speed, known speed, will go to the lead. He's had 13 mounts, 4 wins and 13 mounts. So you're talking about 30% of the time he's winning on these mounts. Now, how about this? If you played 2 across the board, so 2 to win, place, and show on all 13 horses, he's been in the money 10 times. You would return, out of your $78, you would return $209. Big okay. ROI, $3 ROI. I like Jose Lescano on speed horses on the turf. The biggest issue with Voodoo Song is the fact that if there's ever been an issue, sometimes Voodoo Song is unable to get a mile. And that's where we're going today. I will single Voodoo Song in everything that I play at Saratoga in the late pick 4. I think Voodoo Song today, lone speed, gets an easy lead, switches over to Lescano, who can be aggressive early. I like Voodoo Song a lot. 9-2 on the morning line. Has a big chance. And again, a horse that I'll single at Saratoga in their biggest race today. Now, as you mentioned, Arlington Million, Chicago, Illinois. I love the Arlington Million. It was so cool to watch the Pizza Man win the Arlington Million. Reason being is because the Arlington Million is run in Chicago, Illinois, as I said. The Pizza Man was an Illinois bred. So it was like everybody in that Chicago area that went to Arlington knew the Pizza Man, knew all about him, cheered for him, was like the fan favorite.
And we're talking about a horse, not a Domino's driver pass.
Right, exactly. So stuff like that. And then when you watch the Pizza Man win, the crowd just erupted because that was like their home team winning, you know? So I like the Arlington Million. They're very passionate people in Chicago, whether it's basketball, football with the Bears, passionate people, and that goes for horse racing as well. The Arlington Millions, obviously, the horse to beat is the 11, Oscar Performance. Oscar Performance was great, and it's crazy to say because I feel like every single performance that Oscar Performance has had has been great, especially recently. This last start, talking about the poker, the grade 3 at Belmont, 106 Bayer wins that. That was Oscar Performance's first start in 2018. This one hasn't had a start since the Breeders' Cup Turf at Del Mar last November. Then comes back June 17th at Belmont, like I said, in the poker, wins that, gets a 106 Bayer. You would expect Oscar Performance to move forward today, run another big race, and if perhaps Oscar Performance performs at his top level, it's going to be really, really tough to beat. Really, 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 really tough to beat. But we always give value, right? That's what we do here at On the Switch. If everybody can remember, especially the ones that are listening that are on the email route, on Belmont Stakes Day, we like to horse the number 13 in the Manhattan. What's significant about that? In the Manhattan, we like to horse 13, which was named Spring Quality. Spring Quality that day, 18-1. 18-1. We thought the pace scenario, we thought the outside post was helpful. We liked the fact that Edgar Prado, who, although old as hell, I mean, let's be real. I don't know how old Edgar Prado is, like for real, but he's got to be like mid-late 40s. Old. Best races that Spring Quality has been with Edgar Prado in the irons. We got Edgar Prado back in the irons in the Manhattan.
Man's got experience.
Definitely.
Some call him old.
Yeah. Now Edgar Prado, I don't know if you know this. How about this? Edgar Prado won the Kentucky Derby. Do you know who he rode? Horse name? Monarchos.
Okay.
So
I was not gonna guess that. So
right. Interesting. You talk about experience, like been there. He's done that.
Right.
He's not afraid of $1 million race.
No.
Edgar Prado is going to do his thing. What I like about Spring Quality is the fact that in every single start, this dates all the way back to May of last year. This horse has progressed every single start when it comes to speed figure. Now, I know we topped out at 98 last out in the Manhattan. The 98 speed figure comes nowhere near the 106 that Oscar Performance ran in the poker. But if you look at Belmont Day and you look at the races on the turf, all of them came back super slow. Super slow. And if you can remember, that day, rain. Typically, when a track, especially the turf, is good or yielding, slow. Very slow. So I think that 98 could be more like 100 or 102. Another progression forward here. And again, we have Edgar Prado back in the irons. This one, the biggest key for Spring Quality, and this is what's bizarre to me. This horse is 8-1 on the morning line. Off these small layoffs like he's coming in with today. This horse has a second, a first, a second, and a first.
It's impressive.
So why would I not expect this horse to move forward, especially inside post, which I actually like because this one's going to be way back. And I mean way back. And what I have seen over the last 2 weeks at Arlington Park, when it comes to the turf course in itself, if you're routing on the turf, which we are in this race, right? The Arlington Million is a 1 mile and 1/4 race. So when you're routing on the turf, which we are, like I said, 1 mile, 1/4, horses coming from behind, extremely successful. If you're sprinting on the turf, which there are some stake races early in the card on the turf, sprinting, speed, all speed, all speed. It's something that I've noticed because when it comes to the Arlington Million, I think we can get value outside of Oscar Performance, and that's going to come with Spring Quality. 8-1 on the morning line. I love the fact that this horse has been progressing since May of last year when it comes to speed figures all the way up. We keep Edgar Prado in the irons, and you know he's not afraid of anything. He knows this horse like the back of his hand. He's won on this horse before. And as we've always said, if you're part of the email route, you know you've heard this a billion times. But I'm going to tell you, guess what? 1,000,000,001. When it comes to big races like these, especially big stake races, 200,000, grade 3s, grade 2s, grade 1s, 500,000. Look, there is nobody better in this game when it comes to getting horses ready for turf runs than Grand Motion. Grand Motion trains Spring Quality. That is the 2-horse Spring Quality, going to be our top selection in the Arlington Million. I really, really like this horse. I think could possibly get completely forgotten about on the tote board. I think this horse could easily be 12, 13, 14 to 1 when they load into the gate. Want to talk about value, Spring Quality, value in the Arlington Million. I also want to give a shout out to Yoshida. Yoshida is a horse that's going to be running at Saratoga. In the same race as Voodoo Song, Yoshida is going to be in. And the reason why I want to give a shout out to Yoshida is like a fan favorite when it comes to horse racing. Yoshida went from Churchill Downs over to Ascot, runs in Ascot, big stakes race, runs 5th or 6th, but only got beat by a length and a quarter. So Yoshida back in the States. I always like waiting a race once they ship across the pond. I think all the horses need a race before they get their top performance again. So Yoshida back at it here in the States. I'm excited to see him back in action, but that's the stake races or the ones that we'll be covering here at On the Switch for today, that being Saturday, Arlington Million Day from Chicago, Illinois. I want to keep everybody informed. We're still working on the YouTube Live. Travis, what 2 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that?
3 tops.
3 tops. So
yeah.
2 or 3 weeks we'll have YouTube Lives. I'm excited because we'll have, a good friend from high school, Andrew Brunetsky, who's going to be on the podcast when it comes to MLB playoffs. We'll have Nick Sporer on when it comes to UFC. We're going to have your buddy Zach. He's going to be on when it comes to fantasy football. I really, really like where we're heading here at On the Switch. If there's anything else that you would like us to cover, anything else you want us to integrate into our shows, let us know. Leave us a comment. As we always say, we want to know what you all like to hear. And we're here for you all. We always want to give you value. Watch out, PGA Championship. It's going to be interesting today. Finishing up the second round. Then going to start the third round right back at it. So that's going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye, as we said, over the next week or so, Urban Meyer. And then after that, college football 2 weeks from today.
I'm excited.
Hawaii and Colorado State at Colorado State going to kick off the college football season 2 weeks from today. I'm super excited about that. I know you are as well. It's going to be a very, very busy couple of weeks trying to get everything ready. But here at On the Switch, we're going to be here for you through the college football season, then into the college basketball season and beyond. From Travis and I here at Louisville, Kentucky, as always, we love you all and stay with us.
On the Switch.